What's up, everybody? Tony East here, and we have to talk some Pacers. Grizzlies was not there, was here in Indiana, but much to discuss as the Pacers kick off an important road trip with a loss in Memphis. And the jarring number and the place to start with this game is 136. It's the number of points the Memphis Grizzlies scored in this game. And if you had to pick a second number that really defines this game for the Pacers, that number would be 108. That's the number of points the Grizzlies scored in just the last three quarters of this basketball game. Pathetic defense from the Pacers in those three quarters. What actually happened, right? Because the first quarter looked like this had a chance to be this elusive game for the Pacers that they have not had all season. They have not been able to blow someone out or just run away with a game all year. Every win they have has featured clutch time. They were up 45-28 after one quarter. Their lead peaked at 19 early in the second quarter. They actually started the second quarter continuing some impressive play from the first quarter. It made it look like this could be the day. 47-28 after an Obi Toppin reverse layup. With 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, they were up 19. That did not last very long. With 7 minutes to go, that lead was down to 13. Then it was single digits. Then it was single digits again after the Pacers answered. And then it was 5 at halftime. And then it was never a game the Pacers looked like they were in at all. The Grizzlies had a 6-0 run to start the second half and ran away with it and came back. Those little details don't matter. What does matter is that the Pacers couldn't guard a potted plant in this game. Second quarter, Memphis, 34 points. Third quarter, Memphis, 40 points. Fourth quarter, Memphis, 34 points. You can't win that way. I already did Locked On Pacers for today. It's not posted yet, but I can remember some of the stats, or at least primarily talk about them. The Grizzlies took 47 threes in this game. That's the most they've taken in a game this season, right? They were comfortable with the threes they got up. 46 threes, excuse me. They were comfortable with the shots they got from deep. 7 from Jalen Wells, 6 from Jaren Jackson, 8 from Desmond Bane, 7 from Ja Morant. The starters were taking them for the Memphis Grizzlies. They also scored 64 points in the paint, the Memphis Grizzlies did in this game. They took 23 shots from 4 feet and in. 23 of those and 46 threes is 69 of their 93 shots that were either right at the basket or were threes. What were the Pacers taking away in this game? The answer was nothing. And when the Grizzlies did shoot from 4 to 14 feet, they made a bunch of those because they were getting great shots from there too, whether that was floaters for Jaren Jackson, who was awesome on both ends of this game. His defense was special too. Or a floater for Ja Morant, or a crafty finish from Morant, or Jalen Wells getting going in the lane, or Desmond Bane, who took 7 twos getting going in the lane, or Santi Aldama, who was the only good Grizzlies player for the first 15 minutes of this game. Lots of guys found wiggle room in that little mid-range area, and they were wide open. The Pacers took away nothing from the Memphis Grizzlies in this game. That, to me, is the story of this basketball outing, is that the Pacers, who actually probably feel pretty good about a lot of stuff from this game, the pace was very Pacers-y, very fast-paced game. Compared to last Friday's Pacers game, very fast-paced. Pacers scored 121, scored a lot at the rim themselves, had a 45-point quarter, right? Won the rebounding battle, did a lot of good things. Got up 42 threes. They've struggled to get to 40. They got injured. Nembhard back from injury. He played awesome. He had his high-scoring game of the season and only played the first half. Terrence Walker was great again. Obi Toppin broke out a little bit. TJ McConnell was good. Mathurin and Siakam had 36 combined. Lots of stuff that's like, yeah, that's pretty good. That should be enough to at least be competitive, right? No, because the Pacers defense was that bad. And this has been a thing all year. This is not shocking. No one's going to sit here and say, wow, what a stunning way to lose. But it's just jarring when it happens this badly. Pacers now 25th in the NBA in defensive rating, fractions of a point ahead of the Los Angeles Lakers for 26th, into the bottom 5. They were hovering better than that, believe it or not. They were hovering better than that for a bit. This game was in December, which matters because in the month of November, still not good. The Pacers defense was better than their rating for the season and outside of that bottom 6 range, right? They have had segments of like, that was okay level defense this year, not good. They were 22nd in their 5 games in October. But 2 of their worst 4 defensive games by defensive rating this season have been their last 2 games. The other 2 being their loss in New York and their loss to New Orleans. So right now they're on a bad run of defense. I thought the way they played against Detroit was poor rotations. They were trying really, really hard to stop drives or to cut off rim attacks, and they were doing a very poor job of it, whether that was an overhelp that led to an easy cut, or not helping enough and it led to an easy basket at the rim, or the wrong guy helping, which led to an open three, all sorts of that kind of stuff. This game was less that and more that they just couldn't stay in front of anybody. They could not stop anyone. The Grizzlies had 5 players with 5 or more assists. Their ball movement was spectacular. 36 assists for Memphis. I could keep going on the stats. I could keep describing it. If you missed the game, just know. I think this looked like the Pacers' worst defensive game of the season. Just watching it, it looked like it. They could not stop anybody. Even when they had like small little bursts that made me think, oh, man, I guess it's a little closer. It was within 10 early in the fourth quarter. I said the same thing after the Detroit game. It never felt like the Pacers had a chance to come back because they could not string together enough stops. And that's how you lose. And that's how you fall to 9-12 on a game where you had the best first quarter of your season. The first 15 minutes of this game was the best the Pacers have played for 15 minutes this entire season. And the last 33 minutes, 35, whatever number you want to pick, was the worst defense they've played all season. Such an odd game for the Pacers. Other issues, Tyrese Haliburton ineffective again. 8 points on 10 shots, 2 for 9 from deep. I think it's good. He took 9 threes. He doesn't have a high volume on the road, but his home road splits continue to be very concerning. 7 assists, 2 turnovers there. Miles Turner struggled as well, 3 for 11. He started hot with 2 threes early and did not ever hit one the rest of the game. He did fine enough on the glass, I suppose, keeping up with Jaren Jackson Jr. most of the night, but couldn't make anything. Pacer starters in general were really struggling. The 9th player, Quentin Jackson, with Andrew Nembhard back, was the 9th player. He could really struggle to guard John Morant. That really hurt them. They tried Johnny Furphy. That went okay, but you can still see how injuries are hurting the Pacers, especially because Obi Toppin, who was awesome. Obi Toppin would have been maybe the story of the game had the Pacers won. He got hurt mid-game. That changed up the Pacers' rotation. He was playing quite well, and he did return, but that still changed what they were doing and really hurt the team's identity. They just could not find the right answers all night long. And it was tough with, when Jaren Jackson wasn't in there, Memphis usually had Brendan Clark at center, and that's small enough that they can play Obi Toppin at the 5, but that went away when the injury happened. So just a lot of stuff flipping all over each other and causing a bad night for the Pacers, who are 9-12 and have to do well in their next 6 or so games because their schedule gets really hard again in mid-December, and they can't fall too far out of things. Even though the East is this bad, they've got to find a way to look more connected and get some wins. Nembhard returning will help. He looked great, but they need much more sustained good play to feel good about what they're doing. Pascal Siakam solid again. Benedict Mathurin got to the free throw line and got going late. Jarris Walker was great for the second game in a row. TJ McConnell once again good. Lots of stuff that they could smile about and say this was a night that we're happy with. Lots of progress made. Doesn't matter when you lose by this much and your defense is this bad. We'll have plenty more on this game on Locked On Pacers, and I'm going to write a story about the Pacers defense. I'll see them in Chicago Friday. Hope you guys enjoy this one. We'll be back after Pacers Raptors, the NBA Cup's final game for the Pacers this year on Tuesday. Till then, everybody, have a wonderful day.